we're not against grants, we're not against sponsoring events and things like that. Like, Near's done a lot of those things in the past, but they haven't always produced the ROI that we wanted them to. And so we just feel that like the right thing to do is really double down on product. We hired a bunch of amazing product people from Silicon Valley lately. We're focused on a lot of the Near AI kind of product related work. So I personally would like to see a lot of those funds flow into product.
How do you determine what the right place to send those fees are? What is the current governance structure on Near? And then what could that process, if it were to go to shareholders, what would that process look like?
Yeah.
Why does privacy matter to you?
Oh, man, that's such a great question.
Welcome back to the Rollup.
This is your home to learn from the biggest guests, the brightest minds at the tip of innovation.
Our goal is to help spread the collective knowledge of everyone in our community.
We are breaking crypto out of its echo chamber and taking it to the real world.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Wayne, welcome to the show, man.
Hell yeah, guys. Man, it's so good to be here. What a day we've had today.
Guy just teleported into
Finally!
Most exciting lead up to an interview ever.
How's the city treating you?
I love VA. I've been here before. My first time here was in 2018, very early in my crypto journey. I started in Ethereum in 2017. You guys probably know I was an Ethereum core developer back then, and I've always found Buenos Aires and like Argentines to just be like the smartest people in the world when it comes to crypto. Like they just woke up to it, they got it early on, and they've been like holding our hands and teaching the rest of us since then. My Bitcoin prophet, the guy who like held my hand and walked me on my personal journey down the crypto rabbit hole, a gentleman named Santi Siri. He's Argentine. I was able to catch up with him here, so I feel like I'm back in like the motherland.
Yes.
Where it all started.
100%.
Very cool.
Dude, privacy is very hot.
Privacy's hot.
Near intents are very hot.
Yes.
Zcash is hot.
Yes.
Zashi, the Zcash wallet.
You guys had a chance to try it? Man, it's
Yes,
sick. It's
shielding it
so
is
good.
incredible
So
feeling.
good.
You guys have just, or they've just announced the ability to actually shield within the wallets
Correct.
now.
Like 24 hours ago, a few days ago, it just happened. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And so that's powered by Near Intents.
Yes.
Man, this journey of kind of like revival of this entire privacy category. I know you guys are coming at this from the agentic side
Correct,
too.
yeah.
What has this been like from the protocol perspective to see this growth? I mean, it's been like, I think there's almost $10 million in intense fees generated over the last, what I call a month or two. It's really growing. How are you feeling about this all from a protocol perspective?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think first and foremost, from a personal perspective, it's been really exciting. It's like, look, I've been doing this for like going on 9 years right now. It's been a roller coaster ride, and we've all had like moments in our career, especially when you've been doing this as long as I have, when you're kind of like, you're hitting pause and you're like, what are we here for? Is any of this working? Product market fit, meme coins and all this kind of stuff. Where's the like really important applications, the ones that are going to like improve lives for everyday people places like Latin America, like Argentina. And so I think that this like privacy explosion that's happened recently, it's just like a very long time coming. I mean, dude, so much love, so much respect to the Zcash team. They have been crushing it. They've been grinding longer than I have, longer than Near has. They're like as old as Ethereum, right? They're coming up in 10 years. They're really well deserved, and it's just like from a personal perspective, it's just given me a massive like influx of energy and passion for what we're doing. As an infrastructure builder, it can be hard too, right? Because we're grinding and building infrastructure that is kind of invisible a lot of the time. So, man, this Near Intent story, this came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. I'd love to say that we like orchestrated this. I mean, there's always collaboration, there's always conversations going on, there's always some degree of kind of biz dev happening. So not that like Near didn't have any hand in this, but it's organic. It really is. Like this is just a thing. It's just like a technology that was just in the right place at the right time. It found product market fit, or product market fit found us. And to be able to support projects like Zcash and privacy and stuff, I just couldn't be more excited. Yeah. From a protocol perspective, that's a bit harder to say. Like, to be honest, we're still figuring out what this means for Near as a protocol. I'm very focused on governance of Near, and like one of the things we need to figure out how to govern is like the fee switch on Near Intents if we decide to turn that on at some point, right? But it doesn't change anything in the core Near protocol. I think Near's been building towards this since the beginning, really.
Well, so am I mistaken about the fees then?
I think the fees are going to the solvers. There's no protocol level fee switch yet. Correct. Yeah.
What's your reaction to some of the other fee switches that are currently floating around in governance forums, supposedly being turned on, the revenue meta?
Yeah, I'm super boring when it comes to this stuff. Like, I know the whole, the joke that we've been making for years about how like you don't want to have any revenue, right? Because then like your valuation is more like made up number, and it's harder to raise money once you turn the fee switch on. But like, I think it's just my crypto grandpa status. I've been doing this for so long. I want to see protocols and projects that are sustainable. That's more than just magic internet money. And like I was so excited when Hyperliquid pulled this off and like showed what was possible, right? So I think we're like following in their footsteps. So 100%, I want to see sustainable economics. So fee switches, I'm all for.
Hibachi is fast and private perps trading, secured by ZK with Celestia underneath. Go to hibachi.xyz to start trading today.
Want simple? Want fast? Want every chain? Use relay.link, the fastest bridge in crypto. Transfer your assets cross-chain instantly with very low slippage right now on relay.link.
Halliday is unified crypto payments. Give your users more wherever they are. Go to halliday.xyz to never write a smart contract again.
And that's probably the front half of complete community value accrual mechanism. The front half is turning on the fee switch.
100%.
The back half is what you do with the fees, right? Product market fit has found you guys, right? And so thankfully there is fees that are coming in, if it were to go turn on because the product is being used by the market. But the back half, how do you determine what the right place to send those fees are? What is the current governance structure on Near? And then what could that process, if it were to go to shareholders, what would that process look like?
Yeah, excellent question. This is exactly what I've been focused on. So it's interesting to note that years later, protocols like Uniswap are still struggling with this question, right? I mean, their airdrop was 2020, if I remember correctly, right? So 5 years later, they're still figuring this out with the governance token and everything. It just shows how hard governance is and how we're still like learning every day. And the reason we haven't turned on a fee switch or even really had a really serious conversation about that yet is because if we do make that decision, we have to make sure, number one, that it is a community-driven decision, right, led by decentralized governance for a whole bunch of reasons. It's just the right thing to do. And number two, that we know what to do with the funding, right? So we started a year ago to create a new governance initiative for Near Foundation, Near Protocol called House of Stake. That's the name of the project. And the stake is a holdover from a previous governance initiative, but it just refers to the fact that it's stake-weighted voting. So very common to what other folks are doing. And the idea, like House of Stake right now is doing some pretty big economic changes. We launched a month ago. We actually just a few days ago passed our first two proposals, which is really exciting. They are economics things. They involve kind of like incentives and rewards and things for validators and for people who are participating in governance. You guys are probably aware Near, like a week ago, 10 days ago or something, we just cut our issuance in half, right? Which is a really exciting thing. So I think there's like a recognition on the part of not just Near, but a lot of proof of stake projects that, look, the honest thing, because I wasn't in the room at Near, but I was in the room at Ethereum when we were designing, the Rollup, the merge, right? Like the Ethereum proof of stake system back in the day. And I can tell you that like, it kind of looked like this. It's like core developers sticking their finger in the air saying, okay, it's like a finding Goldilocks spot. 10% issuance feels too high, 1-2% feels too low. Let's pick 5%, 7%, 8%, whatever it is. But here we are 5 years later and we're like, all right, like we have real economists in the room now. We like know that we can do better. So that's kind of what motivated the Near, switch. Solana's talking about it. AVAX is talking about it. They all are. I haven't answered your question. Like as for what we do with those fees, I mean, they should be invested in the ecosystem, right? What that means is a question that's going to, get a different answer in each ecosystem. In the case of Near, we are very focused on product. We've had this massive kind of pivot, this wake-up moment a few months ago where we realized that we're not against grants, we're not against sponsoring events and things like that. Near's done a lot of those things in the past, but they haven't always produced the ROI that we wanted them to. And so we just feel that like the right thing to do is really double down on product. We hired a bunch of amazing product people from Silicon Valley lately. We're focused on a lot of the Near AI kind of product related work. So I personally would like to see a lot of those funds flow into product.
And so to double click on that, right? You're investing in product. This is the AI Supercycle show, and so naturally you guys are building AI, and you're here on the show. And so what would flowing the value from the fee switch into an AI product, what could that look like? Is it paying to train models? Is it incentivizing certain usage of the models? Generally, what do you think could be an incentive mechanism that would help to bolster the AI product?
I think it's all the above. I think it's everything you said and more. And again, just full transparency, we're still figuring this out. I don't think we have like really solid answers here. I know you guys have spoken to Ilya, as well, and he shared a bit about his vision for this thing called DCML, right? Decentralized Confidential Machine Learning. It's a bit of a mouthful, but it's just kind of like a catch-all term for like all of the decentralized AI infrastructure that Near is investing in and building. And very much a big part of that vision is we need things like confidentiality, verifiability, privacy, right? That's at the center of it, but it's also verifiability in things like model training, right? So we want to be able to run model, and Ilya spoke about like sleeper aids and things like that. We want to like know how the sausage is made and have like verifiable proofs of that. But one of the nice things you get when you have verifiability in both inference as well as in model training is you can actually have like content creators, people like you guys or anyone putting out content out there, should be given a proof that the thing that they hoard their energy and their financial capital, their sweat equity, et cetera, into building, into putting out in the world, like is included in this model, verifiably, provably, right? And then further, you can say, and also inference is performed on it, right? And so to the extent that you have applications that are built on AI that are revenue positive, right? You have this chain of custody, so to speak, right, where you can trace back and say that actually there was this set of content creators, this content that went into it, right, that was monetized, profits were earned, and so a piece of that should flow back to the original content creators,
Very cool.
right? I think that that's the place I would like to see those revenues flow in the beginning, and just come up with a more sustainable model, because AI has broken the content creation model. It's in the process of breaking it, right?
Yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah.
Trade on anything: economics, weather, sports, crypto, and more. All on Kalshi.com, 24/7 for the world's biggest prediction market.
Take control of your coins with Trezor. Military-grade security for your digital assets. Go to Trezor.io for the new Trezor Safe 7.
Looking for yield that stands out? InfiniFi gives you just that. Deposit stablecoins and earn far more than the current savings rate. InfiniFi is a battle-tested, reliable DeFi platform that is ready to go. Head to infinifi.xyz.
Yeet is built for big moments. The most fun you'll ever have with your crypto. Go to yeet.com to yeet into your next game.
Kind of switching gears into the privacy kind of realm, from the roots that you came into the space, and why does privacy matter to you?
Oh, man, that's such a great question. Why does privacy matter to me? And look, I think what we need to understand, and it's, look, we're 10 years into this journey now in the case of Ethereum, actually almost 10 and a half years in the case of Ethereum. How many years has Bitcoin been around? 15 years, something like that, 15, 16 years, yeah. So we're beginning to forget, and that's just getting a little bit diluted, but actually Bitcoin, I'll start with Bitcoin because it was the first mover, right? Like it emerged in a particular place in a particular time. It was a particular kind of socioeconomic situation. Obviously there was a response to like the global financial crisis, right? But it was also came out of the cypherpunk movement. And I was actually just, because I was at the Cypherpunk Congress here a couple of days ago. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check that out. That event was epic. Really just this massive revitalization of energy into kind of the just reminding people why we started, what cypherpunk values are. Right, cypherpunks were a movement in kind of the 90s, into the 2000s. A group of people who were deeply mistrustful and suspicious of governance and governments, who deeply believed in privacy and the right for everyone to kind of communicate privacy, have like financial, transactional privacy, that kind of thing, and personal responsibility, right? And those are values that, really again, that's just the cultural milieu in which Bitcoin was born. I think it's just important to remember where we come from. And Ethereum inherited those values from Bitcoin. But again, over time, they've kind of come a little bit distilled, a little bit kind of watered down, right? We're kind of on the third or fourth generation of projects now. It's just important to have events like the Cypherpunk Congress to remind us of that. And I'll just throw out there a personal reason as well. My father's a Holocaust survivor. And I think a big part of my life story is kind of, how do we build better human systems, better human institutions to kind of prevent, government overreach, things like that from happening again. So I think I share the cypherpunks kind of mistrust of strong centralized systems and centralized governments. I realized this, it took a while to realize this, but it's a big part of my motivation for why privacy matters so much to me.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta let you go, man. We appreciate it.
We'll do it again.
It's been a hell of a day so far.
For sure.
Thank you, man.
So good. Thanks for having me here.
Cheers, man.
Good stuff,
Thanks for
guys.
coming on.
Of course, anytime. Appreciate it.